awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials, and this is day 3 for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 real life review. Today we're going to look at the camera, but we will make it more like a conventional review so that you come to know what we have done from day 1. Well, day 1 was about first impressions and the initial thoughts and how different it is compared to the Redmi Note 4. Day 2 was all about performance. We checked out gaming, we checked out the benchmark numbers, is there heating or not, how good is the Snapdragon 625, and finally we are at day 3. So today we're going to talk about the camera, the video quality, and overall love for this particular device. Does it replace the Note 4 or it doesn't really make a lot of difference? So without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. Let's begin day 3 of the review for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5. Now the first thing that I would like to talk to you guys about is the display on this particular device, because that is what the Redmi Note 5 is all about. Well, it comes with the 18:9 display, and this is Xiaomi's first phone to come with the 18:9 display, and it is a very decent IPS panel. I know this is a mid-range device, but if you were to just look at the display quality, you wouldn't really say that this display is from a mid-range device. Add to that 400 pixels per inch, and this is a Super LCD display with a respectable resolution of Full HD+. The color reproduction is great. The display is quite bright, so outdoors is not an issue as well, and the viewing angles are pretty good. So when you combine all of that and add it to a mid-range device, it looks really nice. And what I really liked about this display is that the corners are curved, just like some of the Pixel 2 devices. The curved corners look really well, and it makes it stand out and gives a much more immersive experience. Now apart from the display, the build quality and the build features on this particular phone is usual Xiaomi stuff. If you look at the back, it is just like the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. On the front is the main difference, whereas the display which we just talked about. But if you want to know about the placements, you can definitely check out the unboxing video. The card for that is displayed right now. And well, let me give you a quick overview. So at the top you have the 3.5mm jack, the secondary mic, the IR blaster. The front has the 5.99-inch Full HD Plus display. At the top you have a LED selfie light, a 5-megapixel front camera, and a bunch of sensors. To the right you have the power button and the volume up and volume down. Now if you look at the bottom, you have the primary microphone, the USB data syncing and charging port, and the primary speaker. To the left we have the hybrid SIM tray, which can accommodate one SIM card and one SD card, or two SIM cards, one of them which is 4G voice over LTE of course. Now to the back you have Mi branding, the fingerprint scanner, the dual LED flash, and the f2.2 13-megapixel camera. Now talking about the build quality of this particular phone, the metal body and the metal construction, the curved edges at the back, and the clicky buttons, and the overall feel of the phone is very reminiscent of the Redmi Note 4, although it is a little heavier and a little taller compared to the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4, but I didn't really notice that difference. What really stands out is the 8.1mm thinness or thickness, whatever you want to call it, despite a 4000 mAh battery. So the build quality is awesome, and for a phone that is priced 10,000 rupees, all these features are pretty good. Now with the Redmi Note 5, what hasn't really changed is it has similar internals when compared to the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. Well, you get the same Snapdragon 625, which was used by Xiaomi in phones like the Mi A1, the Redmi Note 4, and Mi Max 2 and stuff like that. So this is a tried and tested chip by Xiaomi, and just like any other phone last year by Xiaomi, this didn't really have any problems when it comes to the performance, and the performance was up to the mark. And when you check the benchmark numbers and the Geekbench scores and stuff like that, it performed really well. Talking about the performance though, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 runs Android 7.1.2 and is powered by MIUI 9, to which we got an update, and the version has gone up to 9.2.6. Now MIUI 9 performed really well. It was very snappy, and it is feature rich, looks very colorful. I really liked a lot of MIUI 9 features, especially coming from the Oneplus 5T, which used to be my daily driver. When I came back to MIUI 9, colorful nature of MIUI 9. Now what I didn't really like with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 is that the RAM management was not that great. MIUI 9 was pretty aggressive when it comes to killing apps in the background, and that is the reason apps did not stay in the background for a very long time. But then again, the other MIUI 9 features like the multitasking and app lock, dual app and stuff like that was pretty impressive, and overall the operating system serves the purpose of what a mid-ranger should have. Now with that said, when you talk about gaming, there are very few issues that the Redmi Note 5 had when it comes to gaming, and if you look at my yesterday's video, the card for that is here. I have done a complete gameplay scenario in games like Asphalt, Extreme, Real Racing 3 and Modern Combat 5, and to my surprise the games played really well, and the phone didn't heat up a lot as well. So when it comes to gaming as well, the Redmi Note 5 is quite a champ. Now talking about battery life, the phone has taken a very small hit when it comes to the battery capacity. It is 4000 mAh versus the 4100 mAh. Now that coupled with the bigger display and a slightly higher resolution meant that there was a slight hit when it comes to the battery backup as well. I still managed to end my day at around 30 to 35% every single day, and that includes at least 8 hours of screen on time, and I would still have 20 to 30% left. Now with a mid-ranger which has a beautiful display like that, the Redmi Note 5 is a beautiful device when it comes to media consumption. Now despite having a 18:9 display, YouTube and Netflix scale up pretty well. There are some apps wherein you might find black bars, but most of the time I did not have any issues, and when it comes to watching movies, the sound quality from the speaker and the earphones was pretty good as well. At the same time, watching videos on YouTube as well was pretty enjoyable. So as a media consumption device, this is pretty good, and add that to the battery backup this phone has and the 18:9 display, it sounds like a brilliant mid-ranger device that you have there when it comes to media consumption. I did not have any issues when it comes to cell reception quality, and I did not have many call drops. The person on the other side was able to hear me properly as well, and the dual SIM mode works as expected. Moving on, let's come to the interesting part, and the part with which we are going to conclude the day for, the cameras. Well, the back camera or the primary shooter is a 13 megapixel f2.2 unit with 1.25 micron size pixel, and what that does is basically that should let more light into the sensor, and low light photography should improve. The camera performed brilliant when it comes to broad daylight, and the colors were almost accurate, and the dynamic range was good, and there was not a lot of noise when it comes to good lighting conditions. Talking about the close-up shots, this being a single camera module, there's not a lot of bokeh effect. But then again, the color accuracy when it comes to close-up shots is not the best, because if you look at this particular leaf, it looks really something different in real life. Talking about the front shooter, it is a 5 megapixel camera that we have on the front with a LED flash. Now the selfies usually come out decent when it comes to good lighting conditions, and when you move to the low lighting conditions, the front flash does help somewhat. The selfies come out pretty good compared to what it was on the Note 4. Now talking about the video from the primary camera, the dynamic range is good, the colors are accurate, everything is going right, but one particular issue that Xiaomi has been allowing to stay with their mid-rangers is that the camera keeps hunting for autofocus or focus, and that makes the experience a little unpleasant. As you can see with this footage as well, it is constantly hunting for focus, which is something Xiaomi could really fix with a shooter. Now considering the camera module on the Note 5 doesn't have a electronic image stabilization, it still does a pretty good job, and it can shoot 1080p video as well. So talking about the cameras, they are decent. What do you expect from a 10 to 12,000 rupees phone? It's pretty good. No surprises there, and no huge disappointments there as well. Alright, so with everything covered, now let's talk about pricing. The Redmi Note 5 comes with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage at 9999, and the 464 variant is available for 11999. Now if video shooting is not your primary concern, or that is not something which is a deal breaker for you, you would hardly find a device that could outperform the Redmi Note 5 in this particular segment. So this is a stellar offering by Xiaomi. I'm really happy that they launched it. This is definitely a Note 4 replacement, but hey, if you want something more, you have something more coming towards you on this channel. That is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro, and we're gonna cover everything like we covered for this particular device. So before I go, the t-shirt that you see right now is by the good folks over at Print Octopus. If you want designer t-shirts and you want them printed and stuff like that with good quality and awesome delivery times, just go ahead and check them out. The link is mentioned in the description. Thank you very much, Print Octopus, for this wonderful t-shirt. Look forward to working with you guys again. As always, like, share, subscribe, keep smiling, and stay tuned.